A very good morning, dear students. I hope all of you are safe and fine. So, dear students, today we will be reading a poem, Paper Boats, from our English literature book. I want all of you please open your book at page number 107. The name of the poem is Paper Boats, and this poem is written by a very famous writer, singer who was Rabindranath Tagore. I hope all of you have heard his name and you all are well known that he has also composed national anthem not only of India but also of Bangladesh, as well as he was also awarded a Nobel Prize. Now this poem Paper Boat composed by Rabindranath Tagore, so I hope many of you might be playing with these paper boats in the rainy season. I remember when I was a child, I used to play with these paper boats. I made paper boats and float these boats in the rainy water. It was really a great fun. Now, let's see what the poet says here. In this poem, the poet is telling something about the child who is recalling his childhood days. Or, like we can say, the poem is just to recall our childhood days when we are in creative mind, think something magical when we are child. Now you all are child means you all are innocent. Your mind still can think of these magical things means imaginative things. How your innocence or your creative ideas enable you to invent something joyful, like you can invent any joyful or funny games also. So during childhood, child's mind is very creative and imaginative, which enables him to invent many fun-filled games. So let's start to read this poem and see where does the imaginative mind takes us. This poem is actually about a creative and imaginative as well as innocent mind of a child. He imagines many things. Let's see. Day by day, I float my paper boats one by one down the running stream. Now, what does the poet say here? The poet says that daily he floats his paper boats in running water. In big black letters, I read my name on them and the name of the village where I live. In these lines, the poet says that when he was a child, he used to write his names on his paper boats, not only name as well as he also writes the name of the village where he lives. I hope that someone in some strange land will find them and know who I am. Means the poet he hopes that someone in the strange land will find these paper boats and would get to know who he is because he had already written his name and address. Now I loads my little boats with surely flowers from our garden and hope that these blooms of the dawn will be carried safely to the land in the night. Now what does the poet say here? Poet says that he imagines that he will load his boat with surely flowers that are the very beautiful flowers with a sweet fragrance, and these flowers bloom in early morning, and through his boat he will be able to carry these flowers to the other land during night time. I launch my paper boats and look up into the sky and see the little clouds setting the white bulging sails. It means that whenever the poet sets his boats for sailing, he will look up in the sky and to see the clouds which were filled with water and trying to compete with the poet's boat. I know not what playmate of mine in the sky sends them down the air to race with my boats. Now, here the poet also imagines that some of his friends might have sent these clouds down to compete his boats. When night comes, I bury my face in my arms and dream that my paper boats float on and on under the midnight stars. Means the poet says that it's it's a night time and the child is very much tired. And while lying, he covers his face with arm and he again started dreaming. He dreamed that his paper boats are floating under the midnight stars. The fairies of sleep and sailing in them and the lading in their baskets full of dreams. Now he imagines that his paper boats are being sailed by the fairies of sleep. Means fairies are sailing in his paper boats and they are carrying a basket in their hand and the baskets is full of dreams. So I hope, dear students, all of you must have enjoyed this poem. So, what do you learn from this poem? We learned about the imagination, creativity, and innovative mind of a child. Like, with his imaginative mind, how beautifully he can imagine about the things. He can think of new funny games. I hope you all have understood the poem. Thank you for watching it.